even at that moment of time, I was thinking more for them. Because these are people who actually left their jobs to join me. So I wanted to make sure that, look, even though the company is winding down and whatnot, I will still take responsibility for the failures and I still want to help support you. It was tough to say all this. I think they knew that it was coming. There was a lot of rumors, talks among them and whatnot really. Pretty much, I guess everybody just wanted to hear it from me accordingly. Yeah. Hi, my name is Syed Ali Rida Madihit. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Janu Asia. Basically, after close to 10 over years in the world of corporate logistics, I felt that e-commerce was the industry of the future. So I joined Ribbons.com as my first foray into e-commerce and then subsequently into Zalora. After 2 years, I caught the entrepreneur bug and started my own company first as iCommerce Asia in 2016 with two other partners. Rather than keep asking myself what if all the time, I thought let's just do it. In the back of my head, I've gathered enough logistics experience. I've learned enough in Ribbons and also Zalora that I was very confident that I wouldn't fail. During the first 6 months, I was trying to find myself as an entrepreneur. I know who myself is as a manager in the corporate world, but as an entrepreneur, I had no idea. I had to be in charge of finance, HR, building up a culture from zero. After 6 months, with all the customers that we gained, after getting funding and whatnot, everything was smooth sailing, to be very honest. However, things started to hit the rocks. We were scrambling to make sure that we can meet payroll accordingly. So that was the first sign, I would say, of things taking a turn for the worse. I felt that as an entrepreneur, you need to know everything and anything. Actually, it's not right. As an entrepreneur, you need to understand your weakness and find people to support and to complement your weakness accordingly. When things was going tough and whatnot, what I was looking for was pretty much option to make sure to help my other co-founders and also my employees to find alternative jobs. On top of that, making sure that my customers' operation was not affected accordingly. I was lucky that even though they felt sad, none of them came up to me and said, "Look, we blame you for this." Honestly, I was down and out. I was demoralized. During the initial stage, I just blame everybody, to be very honest. I felt that my co-founders left too early or didn't go all in during the end stage of the business to help me go through this rough patch. But then again, after a few conversations with some good friends and whatnot, I realized that there was no one to blame but except myself. At the lowest, I remember I'm in bed most of the time. I took long walks to nowhere. I couldn't make payment for my car installment. They sent me even a bankruptcy letter. I didn't have any issue with that. But not being able to pay for my children's school fees hit me hard. Like I say, I came from a divorced family. I saw my mother work very hard to put me through university education and whatnot. And I told myself I wanted to be responsible, be a responsible father, a responsible man, to make sure that I'm able to sustain, especially for the kids. So, not being able to pay for my children's school fees and because that time they were in kindergarten, Montessori and whatnot. Well, it was tough, to be very honest. My mom shared with me a candid story whereby even my grandfather, who had his own publishing business, failed. But when he failed, he still was able to self-motivate himself. My mother keep telling me, tetap semangat, always be motivated, because only you can do this, see it through. And until this very day, after closing down iCommerce, many businesses, many customers approached me to ask them to help them to do consultancy work. So that helped me tide through 3 or 6 months without a stable income. Crazily, indirect investor of iCommerce asked me whether I'm strong enough to do this again. I say, if you have faith, then why not? So this indirect investor of mine introduced me to my current partner in Janio Junkai, and we almost hit it off immediately. The robust discussion that we had with regards to how to set up Janio as a business brought back motivation, brought back the passion in me to make a difference. If I didn't fail in iCommerce, I wouldn't have been given a second opportunity to make good through Janio. I wouldn't have met the people that I met in Janio. Everything happened for a reason. The hardest part in closing a business is actually your internal self, to be very honest. I always felt that failure in Singapore is not accepted. You fail at P6, there's a certain stigma which is labelled on you. Same thing with going to secondary school with Express, normal academy. I felt truly like I was a failure and that society would view me differently, especially after so much publicity on iCommerce, what we were doing great, how we were helping businesses and whatnot. When everything shut down, a lot of people want to meet you and you think they want to help you, but honestly, no, they just want to get the first story out from you. So that's the funny part. Yeah. As an entrepreneur, it's always a question, who can you trust? Who can you share your inner, deepest feeling with? It's a very lonely journey. If you ask me, I say, don't do it. But if you do decide to become an entrepreneur, it'll be a very rewarding journey. But always know that failure is not the end of the road. Failure can be an option, but if after that option, what do you do next?